Today, you are going to learn how to add and subtract fractions on a number line. Mary rides her bike 2/10 a mile to pick up her friend Marcy for soccer practice. Together, they ride 5/10 a mile to the soccer field. We want to find out what is the distance from Mary's house to the soccer field. You can use jumps on the number line to add or subtract fractions. Let's look at B over here. It says, use a number line to show 2/10 plus 5/10. So if we look at this number line, our number line goes from 0 to 1. Since our denominator is 10, there's going to be 10 equal marks. So we're going to start at 2/10 and we're going to jump 5/10 and we're going to end up at 7/10. When you add, always move to the right on the number line. When you subtract, you're going to go the other way and move to the left. C. Write an addition equation. Add the numerators, write the sum over the like denominator. So we have here 2/10 plus 5/10, which is 2 plus 5, equals 7/10. The distance from Mary's house to the soccer field is 7/10. Go down to the convince me. It says, use the number line below to find 5/8 plus 2/8. So, if we go from 0 to 1, if our denominator is 8, we have to divide the number line into 8 equal parts. Remember, don't count the 0, but count the 1, and 1 will equal 8/8. So we're going to draw 8 equal lines. When I draw 8, I always start in half, and then I divide the number line in fourths, and then each fourth I divide into 2 parts. Now I have 8 parts. So this first one would be 1/8, the second one would be 2/8, and so on, all the way up to 8/8. So I am going to start at 5/8. So I've got 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8. Got 5/8 right here. I'm going to label that for you. 5/8. And we're going to jump 2/8. And we're going to end up right here. So 5/8 plus 2/8 is going to equal 7/8. I'm going to land on this spot right here, which happens to be 7/8. Let's do the guided practice together. But before we do, take a look at another example. Here it says to find 6/8 minus 4/8. So to do that, so far we've added and we've moved to the right. When we subtract, we move to the left. So we're going to start at 6/8. So here's our 6/8. And we're going to subtract, move 4/8 to the left. So we moved 4/8 to the left. We moved 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to end up right here. And since this line is in eighths, this one would be 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8, and 8/8. We end up right here, which happens to be 2/8. All right. Do you understand? Number 1. In the example above, how is the denominator illustrated on the number line? Well, if we look at the denominator is 8, and the number line is divided into 8 equal parts. Number 2. Draw a number line to represent 3/12 plus 5/12. I am going to do that down here. Okay, so here's my number line. Since it's a line, it has arrows on each side. My denominator is 12s. I'm doing 3/12 plus 5/12. So your bottom number, or your denominator, that's how many equal parts you're going to have on your number line. So dividing this into 12 parts, I'm going to start by dividing it into 3 parts. And I'm going to divide each of those in half. And now I'm going to divide each of those in half again. So I should end up with 12 parts. I have 1 12, 2 12s, 3 12s, 4 12s, 5 12s, 6 12s, 7 12s, 8 12s, 9 12s, 10 12s, 11 12s, and I'm going to add one more that I forgot, and we have 12 12s. Okay, so I'm going to start on 3 12s, which is right here, and I'm going to add 5 more, and I'm going to move to the right since I'm adding. So if I add 5 more, I'm going to jump 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 12s, and I'm going to end right here, which is going to be 8 12s. Just remember, when you're adding, you go to the right, and when you're subtracting, you go to the left. You could have made one giant line like that, but I just did them separately so you could see it easier. For numbers 3 through 4, we have to write an equation to show each number line. So here we're starting at 1/5, and we're moving 2 spaces and ending at 3/5. So for my equation, I'm going to do 1/5. Since I'm going to the right, I'm adding, and I added 2/5, and I ended up at 3/5. All right, number 4. This time, it looks like the number line is moving to the left. So I know I'm not adding, I'm going to be subtracting. So I'm starting at 5 6 right here. I'm subtracting, and I'm taking away 1 2. So 2 6, and I'm going to end up at 3 6. Go ahead and do the rest of the problems on this page, and then come show me.